Let me tell you something stuck with me here, what you're going to hear when we get to that video. First thing Tanner Horner says to Athena when he picks her up and puts her in that truck, he leans down and he says, "Don't scream or I'll hurt you." He says that twice. You're going to hear it. We're going to put it on screen for you.
Most criminal investigations begin with a mystery, but the case of Athena Strand began with a masquerade.
You've heard that name over and over, Athena Strand. Born May 23rd, 2015. It's sad that we have to talk about a child in the past tense, who she was, what she liked, who were her friends, who were her parents. It's sad that we have to have this discussion, but that's the evidence that we have to bring you. That's the evidence that's important.
In forensic psychology, we often look for predatory preparation, the moment an ordinary routine is weaponized into a lethal trap. On November 30th, 2022, a 250-pound man encountered a 67-pound child in a driveway in Paradise, Texas. The public was initially told it was a tragic accident involving a delivery truck. The forensic evidence, however, told a much darker story of an hour-long struggle captured on a hidden audio feed. This wasn't a panicked mistake. It was a calculated sequence of violence that began long before the truck ever entered the driveway.
Tanner Horner shows up, delivers a package, leaves with Athena. Now, I'm going to put you as close as you can be without actually being there that day. We have video of it, and we're going to show it to you. Now, you may be thinking, wow, maybe we have video of the whole thing. Nope. Somebody covered up the camera because they don't want you to see. Guess what? Audio's still running, and you're going to hear it. You're going to hear what a 250-pound man can do to a 67-pound child. And when I say it's horrible, I mean it. I've been doing this 25 years, and I promise you, buckle up.
To understand how the system eventually caught up to the suspect, we have to look at the clinical timeline of November 30th and the days that followed. The story begins at approximately 4 p.m. when a FedEx ground contractor entered the Strand property to deliver a Walmart package. Athena Strand, a 7-year-old first grader, was in her driveway. Contrary to the suspect's initial claims of an accidental collision, digital evidence from the vehicle's interior showed that the camera had been intentionally obstructed. However, the audio remained active. These audio logs captured a horrifying 60-minute window. It began with the suspect telling the victim, "Don't scream or I'll hurt you."
In fact, the first words out of Tanner Horner's mouth whenever the ranger first encountered him, the ranger says, "Is she alive?" And he says, "She wasn't alive when I put her in the truck." I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to see right up front here, she was very much alive and very much uninjured when he put her in the truck. Let me tell you something stuck with me here, what you're going to hear when we get to that video. First thing Tanner Horner says to Athena when he picks her up and puts her in that truck, he leans down and he says, "Don't scream or I'll hurt you." He says that twice. You're going to hear it. We're going to put it on screen for you. That's the first thing out of his mouth. He made good on it.
The recording documented a sustained struggle within the mobile crime scene of the delivery truck. Following the event, GPS logs and delivery records showed that the driver simply continued his route. He completed his shift and returned the same truck the following day to to maintain control of the evidence. He even drove back through the active search scene at the residence while talking to bystanders.
This is planning. This is preparation. He knew what was going on. He drove through the scene that day. He drove right through the scene that day. You're going to have video from his truck driving right through that scene, right where he kidnapped her, right where he took her away, and talking to people. What happened? What went on? What happened? In the same truck he killed her in. This is the level of cold-heartedness that you're going to see.
It wasn't until December 2nd that investigators located Athena's body at a location known as Bobo Crossing. She was recovered from the water, stripped of her clothing in a clear attempt to degrade physical evidence. The vault reveal in this case centers on the forensic dismantling of the accidental strike narrative. The suspect claimed he killed Athena because he feared losing his job after hitting her with his van. Forensic pathology quickly proved this was a lie. The autopsy and subsequent DNA testing provided the mechanics of truth. Investigators found the suspect's DNA under Athena's fingernails, a biological record of a high-intensity struggle.
We finally find her body, and here's what you're going to see once we find her body. Now, this is where we start getting into punishment. Obviously, the judge has already talked to you about, at some point, he's going to instruct you to find him guilty in that particular case. We're going to talk to you a little bit about punishment. Now, I hadn't planned on talking about change of events. Got to switch gears. What does punishment look like? Well, we have DNA. Not only do we have initial DNA from Athena that has Tanner Horner's DNA under her fingernails, we also have DNA, Tanner Horner's DNA, in places where you shouldn't find DNA on a 7-year-old girl. We're going to take you back in time. We're going to show you what Tanner Horner did to prepare for this, covering up the camera, setting this up. And he was there 24 hours before on the same road at a different house with a different girl. It looks eerily similar to what you're going to see on Athena's video the night before.
Furthermore, the presence of the suspect's DNA in specific anatomical locations on the child fundamentally shifted the case from a panicked homicide to a sexually motivated abduction. The systemic breakthrough came from digital forensics. Data placed the truck at a different residence 24 hours prior, where the driver engaged in eerily similar behavior. This established a signature of predatory planning. The evidence showed that the camera obstruction wasn't a technical glitch, but a deliberate act of forensic countermeasure meant to shield a pre-planned crime. The forensic conclusion was definitive. Athena Strand did not die from a vehicular accident. She died from a sustained, intentional assault that lasted over an hour, supported by audio evidence, DNA transfer, and predatory staging. The suspect eventually pleaded guilty, but only after forensic science stripped away a web of conflicting lies. This case forces us to look at our global delivery infrastructure, the services we rely on every day, and ask a difficult question. How do we effectively vet the individuals we invite into the most private reaches of our communities? The truth is never found in a confession alone. It is found in the DNA, the logs, and the cold hard facts. If you want to dive deeper into the forensic science that solves the unsolvable, subscribe to the Evidence Vault. We uncover the truth through evidence.